Hi guys, welcome back to LaDenser Crochets. If you're new to this channel, my name is Liz, and in this tutorial we're making this dress. This is an improvisation of a dress that I recently made, and I realized that some of you might need a dress that is a bit covered up, and that's why I came up with this one to make up for those who did not like the laced one. I'll leave a link in the description box for the other dress. We begin with the top parts, and to work this, we're going to work two identical pieces. Two that look like this one. I've already worked one, so we're going to work the second one. And to do that, you're going to get your bust measurements and divide it by 4. So in this case, mine is 36. After dividing by 4, I'm working 9 inches when slightly stretched. So the chain that my beginning chain will be 9 inches. As you can see, when I stretch this out, it goes to 9 inches. And for this one, I did a total of 26 chains. So I'll get my yarn and begin with a chain of 26. So start with a slip knot. And then chain 26. After the 26 chains, you're going to hold the 26th chain and chain one more. Then into that stitch that you're holding, put your hook through, grab a loop and pull through, and work a single crochet into that first stitch. Into the next stitch, we're going to work a double crochet. So for a double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, grab a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. The next stitch is going to be a single crochet, so put your hook through the chain, grab a loop. You'll have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the 2. The next one is going to be a double crochet, then followed by a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet. And you're going to alternate like this until you have the last stitch, which is going to be a double crochet. Whatever chain you're making should be a multiple of 2, so that keep alternating between a single crochet and a double crochet till you get to the end. Make sure that your last stitch is a double crochet, and like I mentioned, the only way to ensure that is by ensuring that you have an even number of chains. At the end, I have my last double crochet, so we're going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. And we always begin with a single crochet and end with a double crochet. So on top of the previous double crochet, insert a single crochet. The next was a single crochet, so we place a double crochet there, a single crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next, single crochet, then double crochet, followed by a single crochet, and then a double crochet. And we're going to alternate like this. It's a very simple stitch. Just ensure that you have a single crochet followed by a double crochet. Wherever there was a double crochet in the previous row, there's going to be a single crochet. Wherever there was a single crochet, there's going to be a double crochet. Make sure that your first stitch is a single crochet and your last stitch is a double crochet. So I've just done a single crochet, and right here is where we insert the last double crochet. That stitch is not very visible, but make sure that you don't forget it. So into that very first stitch, place a double crochet to complete row 2. That is what we have. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Begin with a single crochet. Into the next stitch, double crochet. The next stitch is a single, then a double. And we're just going to repeat this row until you have, so this is 9 inches. You should work 9 inches going this way. If yours was 10, you should work 10 and 10. So it's going to be a square. You're making a square. I'm going to work a total of, let me check how many rows I did to get to my 9 inches. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I did a total of 20 rows to get me to 9 by 9. So that means if you're working 10 inches, it's going to be more than 20 rows. If you're working less than 9 inches, it means that they're going to be less than 20 rows. So keep working until you have a length that is equals to a quarter of your bust, or the same length as whatever starting chain you have. begin row 4 in the first stitch with a single crochet, followed by a double crochet, a single crochet into the next stitch, a double crochet into the next, a single into the next, and keep going. I'm going to work my 20 rows, and I'll meet you back here once I'm done with the 20. So go on, work your rows, and let's meet once you have that square. I'm done with the 10 rows, and let's determine whether we have 9 inches right now. So we already measured this one, it's at 9. We need to measure this part when it's stretched, and as you can see, it stretches up to 9 inches. So from row 11, I'm going to start working a reduction. I'll start by chaining 1 and turn. To reduce, we skip the first stitch, then skip the second, and then insert the hook into the third stitch and work a single crochet right there. We are only going to reduce on this one side, the other side remains. We continue going up with the other side while we slant on this side. So this is the effect that we want to get. We are reducing on this side from this point, and this other part remains straight, as you can see. So continue working this side straight as we reduce this. We reduce in row 11. Yours could be 13. It depends with the length that you're working. So I've reduced in row 11 by skipping the first and the second stitch and working a single crochet into the third stitch. Then all the other stitches we just alternate, a double crochet into the next, a single, so that's the single. So now I'm working a double crochet, then a single crochet, a double crochet, repeat to the end of row 11. At the end of row 11, we are working in all stitches. No reduction is happening on this side. So we finish in the last stitch with a double crochet, chain 1 and turn. In row 12, after reducing, I had my first stitches were 26. I've reduced 2, I'm at 24 right now. And in row 12, I'm going to work 24 stitches. So there's no reduction in row 12. Just a single stitch into every stitch, no reduction at the end. So I'm coming to the end of row 12. I have a single crochet into the second last stitch. This is the first stitch, that is, or the last stitch of this row, and I'm going to yarn over. Instead of putting my hook through this stitch, I'll go to this part right here and place my last double crochet right there. We are not reducing, but instead of working right here, we work at the end, just so we can have a perfectly slanting part. Now chain 1 and turn to begin row 13, and when you're coming from this side, we reduce, and then when you're coming back, no reduction. Now we're going to skip the first stitch, skip the second into the third one, work a single crochet for that first reduction in row 13, then a double crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet, double crochet, and then work till the end. At the end, no reduction. I'm at the end of row 13, and I'm just going to work my last double crochet, chain 1 and turn to begin row 14. When you're going back to this side, we won't reduce. So right now, after reducing, I'm at 22 stitches, so I'll work 22 to this end. Just one stitch into every stitch. Remember, at these ends, when you get to this point, this is the second last stitch. This is supposed to be the last stitch, but we are yarning over and working at this point, the last stitch right there, a double crochet, then chain 1 and turn. When you come in from this slanty side, we reduce. So skip 1, skip 2 into the third one, single crochet, and we're going to keep repeating this until we reduce and remain with only 2 stitches. So let me show you. So this is the first piece. We're going to do the same thing with the second piece. I'm going to keep reducing all the way till I get here. So remember, when you reduce while coming to this side, when you're coming back, no reduction. When you're going to this side, you reduce. When you're coming back, no reduction. Keep reducing till you have 2 stitches remaining, and I'll meet you there. At this point, I have 4 stitches remaining. So remember, we're not working here, but in this last stitch there, chain 1 and turn. After turning, we're going to count the first, the second into the third stitch. We are counting this first, second, third, single crochet into the third. That is our first stitch, and double crochet into the last stitch. That is our second stitch. Then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to need to cut your yarn. Hold your 2 pieces in this position. So this one, the curved part facing the bottom, like this. And now we're going to connect this at this point. Then we're going to fold like this, and this will be the back part of the top part of the dress. So what I'm going to do is tie a knot at this point. Now this is the back part, and when we turn, we'll be facing the front part of the top, and we're also going to connect at this point. So what I do is I'll turn my work like this and connect at this point. But before the connection, I'll work an edging from this point, and I'll go all the way around the other side of the top. So get your yarn, reconnect at this starting point, chain 1, go into that stitch and that same stitch where you've reconnected, and place a single crochet. Into the next stitch, place a single crochet. I'm working over the tails, so each of the stitches will each get 1 single crochet. Once you get into the corner stitch, you're going to place 3 single crochets into the same stitch. I've already placed 1, so I'll go on and place 2 more. 1 and 2, and we turn to this side. I'll just turn and work like this. So I'm working all the way around here, going to the other top, coming down and coming all the way through to this other side. So now I'm not working on visible stitches, I'm working on the rows. And when working the rows, we work the gaps, these gaps right here. Now we start with the first gap, place a single crochet right there, place a single crochet into the next gap. The third gap, we skip it, then we do a single crochet into the one that follows and another single crochet into the next. Then skip the next one, 1 and 2, skip, 1, 2, skip the next one, 1, 2, skip 1 and 2, and we do this till we get to the corner stitch. So right here I'm at the corner, and in that corner I'll place 3 single crochets. We move on to this other end, and we're going to do the same thing we've done on this side. So start with the first gap, then the next one, then the third one, skip this one, go into the fourth, the single crochet, and the fifth, then skip the next one, 1, 2, skip 1 and 2, skip. I'm supposed to skip this one, but because it's the last stitch, I'll work into it with a single crochet. Then that takes me straight to the other side, and I'll just skip this part and do a single crochet onto the other side, right there. Now we continue on the other curved part. At the corner, place 3 single crochets, and that will turn you over to this edge, and here we have stitches, so we're placing 1 single crochet into each of the stitches. Three single crochets into the corner stitch, then turn onto this other side, and now we're going to work we're going to work an edging all the way down to where we started. Because we are working on the rows, we are working 2 stitches and skipping the third one. I'm in the last stitch, and into that stitch I'll place a single crochet, then slip stitch onto the first single crochet that we did, chain 1 and cut off the yarn. Wait, before you cut it, let's see whether we're going to use it. You're going to need to cut it. Cut the yarn at that point. Pull through and fasten. So this is the right side of the top. Now we turn it like that, and we're going to get the yarn and reconnect at the corners. Now in the corner stitch, get the second stitch of the corner stitch on one side and the other one on the other side, and do a slip stitch at that point. Then I'll just pull it and I'll do a tight knot right here. Then put my hook into the next stitch and grab the yarn like that, then chain 2. On the other side, slip stitch onto the next stitch. Do a second slip stitch onto the stitch that follows, and do a third one. Then chain 4. Turn your work this way. So right here it's like we've skipped one stitch, so on the other side we're also going to skip a stitch, and onto the third one, onto the one that follows, do a slip stitch like this. Then you're going to do a second slip stitch. Sorry, that's the first. Then you're going to have the second and the third. Then turn like this and chain 6. After the 6 single chains, you're going to count 1 stitch, skip 1, onto the one that follows, do a slip stitch, do a second and a third. Second slip stitch, third slip stitch, chain 8, turn your work to the other side, skip a stitch and slip stitch onto the one that follows. So slip stitch once, second slip stitch, and a third one. Next we chain 10, onto the other side, skip a stitch and slip stitch 1, and this is the stitch 1 and 2, slip stitch right there, then slip stitch for the second time and for the third, and then chain 12. So the stitches are the chains are increasing by 2 as we move along. Skip 1, 2. That means the next chain will be 14, the other will be 16, 18, 20, and so on. So 1, slip stitch again for the second time, and a third one. Then now we chain 14. Move on to the other side and skip 1, then into the third second, 1 slip stitch, the next one, and the third one, chain 16. Slip stitch onto the other side after skipping a stitch. Then slip stitch another 2 times 1 and 2. Now we are chaining 16. We skip 1, then we're going to slip stitch 1 and 2. That's the third slip stitch, and now I'm at the corner of this side, so I'm going to chain 18. Turn to the other side, and on the other side we are slip stitching at the corner stitch, and then chain 1, cut off. Next we attach straps, and to do that you're going to need to double your strands. Then get your hook, the corner stitch right here, put your hook through and grab the 2 strands. Then we're going to chain 1. We need to chain a chain of 100, but I'm going to work over this chain. Put it over there, the hook, and chain 2, chain 3, put like this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and continue to 100. We're going to cut these tails that remain here. So after you have your 100 chain, you're going to reattach the yarn again at this point and do the same thing that we've done on this side. So after 100 chain, you're going to cut off the yarn and reattach here. Whatever remains right here, you just cut it off like that. I have my 2 straps ready, and what you do at the end is just make a chain, not a chain but a knot, sorry. Make sure the knot is very close to the stitches and tighten it, then cut off at that point. Do the same on the other side, make a knot, once the straps are ready, we begin working the skirt part of the dress. Now what you do is you turn your work to the back part, but then the stitches are not visible on this side, so we're going to work from this side. We are going to start at this middle stitch right here. So grab the yarn and reattach it at that point. So grab a loop and chain 1. At that point, go into the stitch and place a single crochet. Into the next stitch, place a double crochet. The stitch that follows gets a single crochet, then followed by a double crochet, single crochet, then double crochet. And we repeat this till we get back to where we've started, alternating between a single crochet and a double crochet. Once you get to the chain stitch, you continue. I've just done a double crochet, so into the first chain you'll place a single crochet, the next chain gets a double, then a single crochet, a double crochet, and then a single crochet, and continue to the end of the chain. Then when you get to the other side, continue till you get back to the beginning part. Your last stitch should be a double crochet, and if it's not, mine is a single crochet. If it's not a double crochet, you're going to place a double crochet into that same last stitch. So make sure that your stitch is a double crochet. Now slip stitch onto the single crochet that you began with, chain 1 and turn. We need to mark the points of increase in order to hit the hip measurement. So what I do is I get this part and turn my work like this. Bring this end to that point. And now we are going to mark this part. Then hold in your work like this, such that this is on the edge. You're going to mark the other end right there, and those are the stitches into which we're going to work increases. So now I had chained 1 and now I'm turning. This stitch is a single crochet, and because it's a single crochet, it's supposed to get a double crochet, but then I won't place the double crochet right now. I'll leave it and I'll place the double crochet as I come to the end. So I'll begin on top of the first double crochet right there with a single crochet. So where there was a double crochet, I'm placing a single crochet. This is a single crochet, so place a double crochet right there. The next stitch is a double, so get a single, then double crochet, single crochet, double crochet next, and do this till I get to the stitch marker. At the stitch marker, we pull it out, and into that stitch we're going to place 3 stitches. So I've just done a double crochet. I'll do a single crochet, then a double crochet into the same stitch, and a single crochet into the same stitch. Then mark the middle stitch. If you've gotten to this point and you're working, you are just done a single crochet, you're going to work double crochet, single crochet, and double crochet into the same stitch. Now I've just done my single crochet, so next is a double crochet, single crochet. Repeat the pattern till you get to the next stitch marker. Once you get to the stitch marker, pull it out. And this, I worked my last increase on a single crochet, on a double crochet stitch, and this is a single, so I'll just do a double crochet right there, and then I'm going to increase into the next one. So I'll do a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet, then I'll mark the double crochet or the middle stitch, then continue repeating the pattern till I get to the end. I've just done a single crochet, and there's this double crochet that I was supposed to work, but then I left it out, so I'll place a double crochet into that last stitch, then slip stitch on top of the single crochet, chain 1 and turn. Again, I don't start here, but I'll work this stitch as I come back. Begin at the double crochet point and place a single crochet, then a double crochet, a single crochet, a double crochet, till you get to the stitch marker. So we're going to work as we turn. Remember, at the end of every row, chain 1 and turn. At this point, where a stitch before the stitch marker, where I'm going to place a double crochet, pull out the stitch marker, and place 3 stitches there. A single crochet, a double crochet, and another single crochet into the same stitch, and mark the double crochet, which is the middle stitch. Then continue with the pattern, that is the double crochet, alternate with a single crochet till you get to the next stitch marker. Add a stitch marker, pull it out, then increase, that is a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet. Then mark the stitch in the middle. Continue with the pattern to the end. So begin double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, remember the last double crochet right here, then slip stitch. That is row 2 done. Chain 1, we're going to turn, but before then you need to continue increasing as you measure to ensure that you're getting to your hip measurement. Measure to make sure that you don't make a dress that is too wide. So this is how we measure. Right now, without stretching, my work is at 22, that is 24. So when you stretch, it goes to around 15 or 16, which is 32 inches. And I want to work till I get a hip measurement of 44. So I'll keep increasing till I get to 44 inches. Do the same till you get to your hip measurement. And I'll meet you once I've hit my hip measurement. So you're working these rows the same way, increasing in every row. And let's meet once you have your hip measurements. I've hit my hip measurements, and this is how I measure it. So just put your measuring tape right there. And without stretching, I'm at 18 inches, which is 36. If I stretch, it goes up to 22. 22 times 2 is 44. And that's the hip measurement that I'm working. I've already removed the stitch markers because I do not need them anymore. Because from this row on, we're just going to work one stitch into every stitch. And we're just going to continue alternating between a single crochet and a double crochet. So after chaining 1 and turning, we begin on top of the double crochet with a single crochet, then a double crochet, a single crochet, and alternate till we come back to this point. At this point, we'll have our last double crochet and a slip stitch on top of the single crochet. Then we'll chain 1 and turn and continue working the rows till you have the full length of your dress. And I'll be measuring from the back part. Now when you're measuring the length of anything crochet, you don't stretch. So at this point, I'm at 3.5 inches. I want my skirt to be 15 inches long. So I'm going to work till I get to 15. I'll see whether 15 will be enough. If I'll need to increase, I can continue going up to 18. So determine the length of the skirt that you want, or the full length of the dress that you want, and work till you hit that. Just one stitch into every stitch in all the rows. I did a total of 60 rows, and I worked a length of 18 instead of 15. I ran out of this shade, so I went with the sky blue. As you can see, this is a part of the joining, and it is seamless. You can almost not tell that is the point where I was joining. So if you work the same way I've done, then you should have a seamless hem right here. Now I'm going to do the last row, which is the edging of the dress, and make sure that when you're doing the last row, you're doing it from the outside part of the dress. So I've chained 1 and turned. I'm on the outside. I'll begin with a single crochet into this first stitch. Then I'll work another single crochet, 2, 3, 4, and 5 single crochets. Then we're going to skip the next stitch, go on to the next one, and do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After the 5th, skip, work a single crochet into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then skip and repeat to the end, and you will be done with the dress at that point. Once you get here, you're going to slip stitch and be done. At the end, I'll do the last single crochet, then slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, leaving a tail for weaving in. And there you're done with your dress. Weave in all the tails, and then yeah, you can go on rock your dress. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and see you in the next tutorial.